We will start in the NBA. And we're going to start with the NBA officiating. We seen it. Donovan Mitchell last night after the game against the Philadelphia 76ers coming out and just having a scathing take at the officials, saying the way they're officiating the game these days is not right. Players are getting ejected for drip passing the ball at officials hard, just talking, having fun, trash talking. So it's getting to the point where fans and even players feel like this something needs to be done. Guys, how do you feel about the NBA officiating? Should it change, or do the players just need to grow up?
I don't think it's just the same way with working with education. You know, a lot of people can't fit with the kids because they don't understand them, and a lot of coaches can't coach players because they don't understand them. You know, they don't come where they come from, and so they take things aggressively. Same way police neighborhoods. They don't understand the people in the neighborhood, so they respond to situations differently, and they feel like they have to handle it with such caution that it disturbs the whole momentum of like the community. And I think that's the same thing in the NBA. Like the officials do be tweaking out on some of the simplest and little things. Like I seen who got ejected. I think JJ Redick then got ejected over some small stuff. And I think that was Devin Booker. Yeah, Devin Booker got ejected literally the other day. Like in one little play on one possession, he gets ejected. I'm like, bro, come on. That's their all-star player. You first off can't eject all-star players. That's not good for the NBA. Fans don't want to see that. We come to watch the players. You disturbing the money flow. So I think the officials do need to like really have some type of session and training on just what it actually means to coach in this culture, not just coach because it's the game of basketball. So, you know.
John said it's all about business, Demond. He said that Franklin saying it's all about business, man. How you feel?
I feel like the refs definitely are tripping, 100%. But the players should just continue to play their game, like not even acknowledge them. When you don't, I just feel like when the game is so much more locked in on the matchups that's what the game is about. And you'll see the flow of the game, less fouls called that are, like when a game is actually going back and forth of like, I started to realize when teams really get hot, you can see it, like what is good basketball. And that to me is like when the best players take over. And that's when the refs have no impact on the game. Closer games and more slower games do have like a ref being able to kind of have an input on the game, and that kind of what messes it up. So I just want to see players just lock in, focus more, and not give that so much attention, in my opinion.
Jace, how you feeling, man? The refs tripping, or you siding with the ops?
Uh, I do think the refs are tripping. I feel like they're cracking down. Like this started happening towards the end of last season, but I feel like it's starting to crack down more on little things. Like not to say that gender is involved, but when Montrezl Harrell said something to the press about him saying and one, and he said something about the women ref like giving him a tech. I don't think that's gender. It's nothing to do with gender because I feel like the same thing would happen if he said it in a certain manner to a male, then he probably would get a tech because that's just how the refs are nowadays. So I feel like the refs are pacifying the league a little bit. Hopefully, I don't see how that we could change it because unless they start giving refs fines, but hey, I don't know how they're gonna do that. But yeah.
Is it an issue of the league making the refs feel pressure to be right on every call? We've seen it every time. The 2-minute report. Yeah. We've seen it the last 5 seconds of the game where they call a foul, but players like, you never call a foul in that situation. But the NBA, the refs want to not get that letter, you missed this call, we're going to deduct, or you're not going to be able to ref this postseason game. What do you think? Is the league change? Is the ref change? Cut, you got it.
I think it's no fans. That's what it is. A lot of stuff that they do now is like, you can hear everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I know they can hear them down there, but it's like, it's different when it's 30,000 people watching you and you give him a tech and now you getting booed, or you getting, they letting you have it. Or if it's a away game, the other fans cheering, and then now their coach is looking at you like, come on, bro, you setting us up, like you hurting us. So most superstars or team stars don't like, Donovan Mitchell's the person that on the Jazz that 9 times out of 10 everybody's coming to see. So he's not getting ejected in a playoff game or in any other game where it's atmosphere like like it's supposed to be. He wouldn't get ejected. And the fact that they went back to back on him, and it was in Philly. That's what it was. It was in Philly. So they went back to back on the text, and it was kind of like a bad look. So I feel like, and then B kind of gassed the ref to tech him up too. That's what people not talk about. Yeah. It's a league thing going on, but some of the players on other teams be like gassing them, and there's no fans in there. So it's like, oh, they gassing me up. I guess I gotta tech them. It's like they egging them on. So I mean, it's the ref's fault. Yes, I don't blame the players. However, it's gotten to a point where players don't really use their voice and speak on how they feel now. So I'm glad Donovan said something about it. And basketball is like, basketball is the premier sport right now. Everybody's watching it. So nobody's watching it to see him on the bench. And if I paid for League Pass and I was watching Donovan Mitchell, I'd be a little pissed.
Especially in the overtime game.
Right. So the league can fix it if they just tell them, like, because technical's low-key stupid. Like, for cursing, bro, they're grown men. Well, first of all, they're going to curse. Now, if it's fans in there and it's a 5-year-old right there and he cursing, the kid's like, oh, my God. And that's different. But it's empty arenas. There's nobody in there. It's no reason to take a grown man for a pickup. Basically like a pickup game. We curse all the time. We about to fight. But nobody's going to, it's bad. It's a sport. Let it be a sport. It's competitive. However, I think the line should be drawn with it's like blatant disrespect. Like he pushes you or they walk up on you. You be like, Rondo, walk away. Don't walk up on me. And they walk up on you anyway. You be like, all right, tick. That's like drawing a line. Or like COVID restrictions, something like that. But anything where it's like cursing or anything like that, like verbal, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I do think the Malice in the Palace with Artest made the rules like this to where the slightest thing, and of course it evolved over time, but the slightest thing the refs are trying to avoid is a fight. We seen it last season when the players started getting to a fight, refs be like, oh my God, hold stop. And it take the coaches and security to come on the court and be like, chill. Jalen, do you like what is it needed? Does another like foul rule changes to be involved? Should we not? No more technicals. Should be something else so we can keep the players playing.
I think every side needs to be held accountable, from the refs to the players and to the executives, because the refs are making bad calls, but you also got to understand there has been instances in past seasons where people have been spat on, hit, almost, you know what I'm saying? Like getting into fights, and the refs have to basically, ref the game, manage the game. So I'm looking at it like this, like if you got guys who can't handle bickering and going back and forth, you have no choice but to give them a tech to wean them off that behavior. So I'm like, dude, talk how you gonna talk, but at the same time, like you gotta understand, like y'all actions got the refs to this point. See what I'm saying? So when nobody telling, you know what I'm saying, when Rondo spat on Chris Paul and they got the hooking, that's a prime example right there. If you take those two guys earlier in the game and really like while the back and forth is going, or if you see something like that nips that in the bud, maybe a coach would be like, hey, you need to guard so-and-so, like try to alter the game plan so that you don't have your superstars out. So I think just really both sides have to be held accountable. And we have to be honest. NBA players whine a lot. Like my favorite player in the league right now whines a lot. LeBron, always complaining to the refs, rightfully so, but he complains a lot, bro. And I see that on many different teams. Like everyone's complaining for calls. And at the end of the day, bro, like you have to continue to play. Like, yeah, you didn't get that foul call, but continue to play. Don't be back and forth with the ref all day, every day. You're going to give them no choice but to give you a tech. And I do think the refs need to do a better job as far as the jump shot rule. What I've seen with Curry jumping into, Dennis Schroeder, like that got to get cut out.
I was just about to bring that up because the players do make it hard on the officials.
Jalen, I know you didn't say that of all people.
They got to cut that out, bro.
Who invented it? Who invented it?
Because D-Wade, yes.
Okay. I want you to address who invented it and got away with it.
But what I'm saying is like, bruh, now players are just fishing for calls because they know by rule, this is what's gonna get me to the foul line.
I think that's why Trae Young didn't make the All-Star game. He mastered that. The last.
Did he get fined for what he did when he didn't get that call at the end of the game
against the Mavericks?
Yeah,
he did get fined. You can't they say he publicly went out an official. You can't do that. And I'm sure Donovan Mitchell's gonna get fined because you can't talk bad about the refs.
He said he didn't give a care though. He know he's gonna get fined. He said that he's like, I really don't care.
Yeah, so but I do think players with that jump foul was also that was the next thing I was gonna bring up. They do make the players make it hard for the refs to do their jobs in a sense because everything's so fast paced and the refs got trying to keep up with them. We have some older refs that are like 40, 50, 60 years old. They also have some younger refs that are 30 years old, but it feels like with the game evolving so fast, the refs either gonna miss a call or make a call that is controversial, and then at the end of the day, players will get mad about the call. Then it's like a never-ending cycle. That's really that's how I feel it is. It's a never-ending cycle.
Yeah. I think I don't know, bro. It's people bend the rules all the time. I feel like with the player thing, with the jump, get them in the air and then flop into them or fall into them. I think the NBA, I mean, the rules are set. They already changed the most of them. Like you can't hand check anymore. So that kind of took a lot of physicality out of the game anyway. And then you have the nowadays I like what they were talking about on Inside the NBA with the switching. Because pretty much everybody could hit a jumper now. So everybody on the pick and rolls is switch. So I mean, it's only so much. I feel like it's harder for defenders, honestly.
Yes, without a doubt.
No, I'm like they're making it harder for them. Like it's really nothing they can do.
You think they turn it to the NFL where it's everything supposed to be offensive heavy, firepower, no defense.
It's already offensive heavy. You see these scores that we get.
Bro, you know the NBA I grew up on, bro.
What you grew up on?
Scoring 80 was a scoring over 80 is like, damn, you got over 80. Now, bro, if you don't hit 100, it's like it's like, oh, okay, y'all gonna lose. You ain't hit 100. You get on 100 points, you're gonna lose. It's teams that literally live by scoring, like the Pelicans are one, for example, and the Bulls is too low key. If they don't put up a certain amount of like 115 points or something like that, they won't win because they really don't play that great of a defense. And it's like that's crazy to think of, but that's the way the game has changed. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with it.
There's a lot of teams like that, honestly.
Yeah, it's just the offensive-driven league now. Mm-hmm. That's why I feel like they be handing out defensive players of the years, but
they do.
They just hand them out now because it's hard to.
All right, you brought up the NBA Inside NBA cast. I just want to hear your thoughts on the idea. Some people are saying they should eliminate the corner three. The corner three is a reason why these teams are able to shoot a lot of threes. So extending the arc to where it's not on the corner, but just
runs out of bounds.
Yeah, it runs out of bounds, but it doesn't go along the side. Do you think?
So, so basically, if you go to that corner spot, you're out of bounds now.
No, it's a two.
No,
it was no longer a three.
Oh hell no!
Why not?
No. Now, if they extend the arc and make that a longer, isn't it shorter? It's a shorter three there, right?
It's essentially, yeah. It's on like maybe a couple inches. It's not.
If they make everything the same amount of distance from the goal, I could be cool with that. But making it a two, no.
No, just fix the rules.
Yeah, but the court doesn't need to be changed.
Just stop allowing players to jump into that should be an offensive foul.
I really think it should be a no call.
Why is that not an offensive foul? But when a guy is
I think it should be a no call.
Just don't call nothing. Oh, you gonna pump and jump? Bet. You do that when the ball's in the air. It's a shot attempt and it's gonna get the rebound.
And what they've been calling as a foul lately, like trying to get over the pick and roll, while the player trying to get over the pick and roll, they'll put their hand on their arm and then the player will go up and they shoot it.
Yeah, and it's like
they call a foul.
In the murals, the way we lost that game, John. Remember that? That BS. And when I complained about it, everybody bro, you suck. I'm like, bro, he hooked me. They hook people now. They be hooking you into the shot. That's so lame, bro.
Hey, cut.
That's so lame, bro.
Man, now